Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to another edition of Blunt Impact. I am your boy Chris G, of course with my co-host Mary Jane. We have a lot to get into this episode. We will be reviewing Impact / OVW Outbreak. That was a pay-per-view that happened on Impact Plus on Friday night. Then on Saturday night, there was Impact / OVW Sacrifice. Both cards were pretty decent, and we're also going to be reviewing the latest episode of Impact that happened on February 25th, 2020. So we're going to get straight into it. Those of you that are at home, I hope you got your blunt, your joint, your bong, whatever. I hope you have it ready to go, because we're going to light this bitch up. So when you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay. So the two pay-per-views over the weekend were headlined by Impact and OVW, which is an independent wrestling company out in Louisville, Kentucky, I believe. So the first match for Impact Outbreak. First of all, Impact, when you do these big shows, these pay-per-view type shows, step up the fucking production value. Both of these pay-per-views had sound quality issues, whether it was the commentary team, promos in the back, just video packages. There was just audio issues all over the place. First, we got the pre-show. It was Josh Matthews in the commentary by himself. The first match he called was Corey Storm versus Dimes. These two guys are OVW dudes. Corey Storm's, Dimes, just like a regular dude. Short match showcased Corey Storm's ability. We'll see what happens. Maybe he fights in Sacrifice. The next match we had was Ray Lynn defeating Callie Young. Callie Young just looks like some regular jabroni blonde that they found in the corner of Venice Beach somewhere. Raylan is kind of unique though, and she's kind of smooth in the ring. She's a lot smoother than this Callie chick, I'll tell you that. Anyway, shit went a little too long for me. It was what it was. Next, Moose comes out on commentary to bullshit with Josh Matthews while they get the ring set up, right? You can't hear half the shit he says because of the fucking audio issues. But I'll tell you this, whatever he did say, it was better than whatever he was saying on the commentary booth the other fucking Impact episode. He wasn't just saying the same thing, he was saying some real shit. And he gets intense. I dig it. The next match we had was Maximus Khan of OVW. He is a champion, he's some champion in that place. And he had a match against Wentz from the Rascals. This kid got a good look, but you can tell in the ring he's not as smooth as he should be. Then again, he's only been wrestling for like 2 years and he's already a major superstar in a small independent company. Some back and forth from him and Wentz mainly showcases how powerful this kid could be. He gets the win over Wentz. The next match was Joey Ryan defeating Dave Christ. See, I can deal with Joey Ryan when there's matches like this. Of course, at the end, he wants him to touch his dick or whatever. But you know what? They had a good wrestling match for the first 5 to 7 minutes of the match. Then it went to the dick flip stuff. Joey Ryan gets the W. Next, we got Willie Mack defeating Johnny Swinger. It was basically the same match from the other Impact episode. Johnny Swinger with his usual shenanigans. Willie Mack gets the dub. Next, we had Trey defeating Tony Gunn. Tony Gunn, I don't know much about him. All I know is that he looks like a dollar value Bobby Fish. Crazy part is that this guy's actually not that bad. He could work. He's been around for a long time. He wasn't bad. Trey gets the win. Trey Miguel is good. Reminds me a lot of Ricochet in the way he moves. Not the things that Ricochet could do, but the way they move in the ring, they just have a similar style. Next match, we had Moose defeating Jay Bradley. This dude, Jay Bradley, is one big, strong motherfucker. He looks like a 1990s biker. But this guy looks like he just ransacked Taya Valkyrie's wardrobe. This motherfucker was listening to Flow Rider before he got on the stage. Because he came out with them boots with the fur. Not fur boots. Boots with the fur. Anyway, it was a hard-hitting match. Heel versus heel. People wanted to get behind Moose, but Moose is actually a good heel. Tries to turn the crowd on him anyway. Moose gets a win in a pretty decent match between two big people. Next, the North defeated AC Romero and Larry D. Two more big motherfuckers that are even bigger than the other big motherfuckers. A lot of power moves by the big men. A lot of the North having to work together. I had to really break down the big men because they can't do all their moves usually that they do because these guys are so fucking big. They're like 400 pounds each. It's actually a dope tag team. Two big guys that could actually move for somebody their size. Hopefully they stay a tag team, bring a little depth into the tag team division. You know, they're big, so you can have different matches with them. Like them versus the Rascals or something like that. Probably be a pretty entertaining match if they get the time. The North takes this one as they get ready to defend their titles against the Rascals the next day. Next, Rhino defeated Badman Fulton in a, I guess it was a no disqualification match. I don't even know what kind of match it was. They were beating each other up, suplexing each other onto shit. It was hard hitting, but slow paced. I'm tired of seeing Madman Fulton eat L's like they're Cheerios on a Sunday morning. Rhino gets the win. It's whatever. Next, we had Jessica Havoc defeating Jordan Grace, Kiera Hogan, and OVW's Megan Bain. Now, this was a non-title match, of course, and it was a decent four-way because each girl, each woman got to showcase what they can do for a little bit, and then Havoc became Havoc and won, which was the right decision because you got to make her look strong going into her title match with Jordan Grace the following night. The main event of Outbreak was Daga and his fiancée, Tessa Blanchard, versus Ace Austin, who Tessa will fight the following night, and his partner, Jake Christ. Now, this was a good match, a lot of back and forth. I like the interactions between Daga and Ace. Jake Christ is a nut job, but he's probably one of the most underrated talents in Impact Wrestling right now. Guy has gotten so much better. He stands out from everybody else in OVE, besides Sammy, who I don't even know if Sammy's their leader anymore. We'll get into that later. But it was a pretty good match with Daga and Tessa getting the win. All of this would lead into the following night in Louisville, Kentucky, the Danny Davis Arena. Impact / OVW Sacrifice. The first match is Rohit Raju, and he defeats Corey Storm from the prior night. That Corey Storm kid really doesn't impress me. Then again, who the fuck am I? I'm just a piehead who watches wrestling. But Raju, one of the Desi Hit Squad dudes, he's pretty good. He's growing on me. He's getting better. He's gotten better since the last time I fully watched him years ago. He gets the win, but that's not the last time we're going to see him today. Next, we get an Ace Austin backstage interview where he does Steiner math, right? It's called Steiner math for a reason. It's because only Scott fucking Steiner can do it. He's the only one that can make it sound like it makes sense. This guy just started blurting out numbers, and then when I did the actual math, I was like, dog, you just gave yourself a 28% chance of winning. How do you make sense doing Steiner math? They got Steiner math remedials in college. Next, we had Kiera Logan. Oof. Fucking Jabach. Next, we have Kiera Hogan versus Ray Lynn from the night before. Kiera Hogan, the night before, came out with a new hairdo. She comes out now, and I was like, you know, I wasn't feeling it at first, but I was like, damn, okay, why not? Natural. This match went on way too fucking long, but it wasn't a bad match. Could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot worse. Whatever. Kiera gets the win. I skipped over the best match of the night by accident. Could blame Mary Jane. But the North defeated the Rascals in a very good match. This was a good clash of styles. You know the Rascals. Personally, this is not my favorite duo. It was Wentz and Trey. I think Dez and Wentz works better. But anyway, they're more high-flying, fast-paced style. Josh Alexander and Ethan Page like to cut off the ring, distract the ref, all the classic heel shit. They're an old school tag team. The match was very methodical, told a great story. It got fast paced when it needed to. But in the end, Rohit Raju comes out and costs the Rascals an Impact World Championship. Tag Team Championship. That's some bullshit. Why? We'll find out. Next, we got Willie Mack versus Jay Bradley. Right? Jay Bradley from the night before. Actually didn't look that bad. With Willie Mack, I thought they should have got more time, but it was a good match for what it was. Jay hits hard. Willie hits harder. Willie gets the dub. My man. Next up, we had Larry D and AC Romero, a.k.a. Triple XL, defeat Madman Fulton and Dave Chris. This wasn't a bad match, but another match got a little too much time for me. I'm tired of seeing Madman Fulton eating L's like school lunch pizza in 6th grade, bro. And I'm going to keep saying it, because every time I read his name or I watch a match, he's fucking losing. Next up, in a really good match, we had Daga El Jefe defeating Jake Chris. This match was pretty good. It went back and forth. They beat the shit out of each other. Daga hits hard. He's a strong little fuck. Did I say that last time? I did say that last time. Jake Chris, really good. I mean, it was well paced. It was just a really good match. Basically came down to who was going to overpower the other one. Daga will always win. Next, we had Joey Ryan beat Johnny Swinger. Bro, this is like a bad old porno comedy. We got two oiled up, hairy motherfuckers. This is the Joey Ryan shit that I don't want to see. Way too much fucking time, but it was funny. It was funny. My man tried to sell him a VHS tape. Next up, Jordan Grace defended her title against Jessica Havoc. This match was too short. It was too short. It's like 6 minutes long. They hit each other hard. Jessica Havoc pretty much dominated for most of it. And Jordan Grace broke it down. Choked her out at the end. Put her in the sleeper hold. She went to sleep. Wasn't bad. Could have been a lot better. I think they would have got a little bit more time out of it. It would have been cool. Next, we see the big cat, Chris Harris. Big cat Chris Harris. Back in the day, TNA Impact. America's Most Wanted with James Storm. They're like 4-time tag team champs or some shit like that. It's a good tag team. Then he went to WWE and became a jabroni. Ain't that some shit? Next, you have Rhino versus Moose, right? This is a bullshit few minutes. Moose low blows Rhino. Gets disqualified. Rhino's like, nah, we doing a no disqualification match. Then it turned into a pretty good match. You know, classic hardcore. Chairs, tables. Moose hits the spear at the end. The spear is better than the gore, apparently. What was it? What's it called? No jackhammer needed. That's what the spear is called. I kind of dig it. Moose gets the W. Hopefully they stop wasting him on older talent and try to propel him into a bigger role. There has been the emphasis of, yo, Moose, you've never been champion. How can you say you're the best in Impact or you're Mr. Impact? You've never been champion. This is going to keep going on. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they're setting up Moose to have a nice big run. One that I think he deserved. Next up, we get another ICU glitch. I'm curious, man. I'm curious. Nothing I can say. Just fucking curious. In the main event, we had Tessa Blanchard, the world's champion, versus Ace Austin, the X Division champion. It was a good match. Ace beat the shit out of her. She took it like a champ, the champ that she is. She got her moves in when she needed to. Finally get to the end. Tessa gets the better of him. To be honest, I can't get behind Tessa being world champion. And I'm going to tell you why later on. Finally, we get to this week's episode of Impact Wrestling. We start off with Daga versus RVD, which is weird because they were like trying to wrestle, but Katie was on the sideline, at the sideline, fucking sideline. She was by the barrier, outside. She was like taking selfies, looking at her Instagram and Twitter and shit. And people were telling her negative things, and people in the crowd are saying negative things. So she gets a little emotional. She goes to the back. My guy RVD is like, "Where the fuck is my girl? What's wrong?" My man left the match, mid-match. It's like 5 minutes in, left mid-match. Doc is like, "All right, whatever." Get the dub by count out. We shoot to the back. RVD finds Katie, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just everybody saying these mean things about me, and I kind of freaked out. Just came to the back, whatever." Joey Ryan approaches, tries to reason with them. Like, "I know how you feel. I've been there before." Joey Ryan, right? With RVD and Katie. So if you ever need somebody to talk to, you know who to come to. Came there as a friend. Maybe we're building a tag team of RVD and Joey Ryan with Katie as a manager. Their team name would be Hard and High. Kicks and Dicks. Kicks and Dicks. Hardcore. Anyway, next we have a backstage interview with Jordynne Grace and Madison Rayne. Jordynne Grace is, "I'm a champ, the best champ out there. Open challenge, whoever wants it," right? Jordynne Grace Madison Rayne comes out, is like, "Yo, listen, I'm a 5-time champ. Like, you think you big shit, get on my level." She's like, "Oh, alright, so you want to challenge me?" She's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna challenge you. Why am I gonna challenge you? Why? Five time. You only have 5 minutes. Get your weight up first, and then I'll challenge you." Whatever that means. But anyway, she scheduled the challenger for Jordynne Grace. Next, Rohit Raju cuts a nice little promo about he's tired of everybody disrespecting them. It's him and his family against the world, the Desi Hit Squad. And he's intense. Shit, it was bringing me in. I was like, yo, he's not bad. Then he had a match with Wentz, and it was a good match. It went back and forth. The Rascals were out there, cheering Wentz on, but at the end of the day, Raju just got it done. We get another ICU glitch. Come on, man, I'm waiting. We're waiting. Next, we have an OVE promo. Their little creep shit. It's Jake, Dave, Madman Fulton. Where's Sammy? Anybody seen Sammy? They talk about they need a new leader. I don't know, you can go a couple ways with this. You can either get somebody to be the new leader for OVE, or you could just make Jake Chris the leader. But I guess we'll find out. Come on. I ain't getting no love. We have a special guest appearance by Ivy. The coolest cat in the world. And no, she does not get high. Next, Jordynne Grace defends her title against, sorry, I actually have to look down and read this one. Miranda Alizé. I couldn't remember her fucking name. She was 4 minutes long. She actually kind of beat up Jordynne for like 2.5 of those minutes. And Jordynne Grace came back, beat the shit out of her, hit her finisher. See you later, title defense. Fuck was that? Next, we have an Ethan Page promo talking about how good the North is, and how they're the benchmark, how they're the best tag team in the world, how they keep setting the standard. I can't say that I could argue with them. They are indeed one of the best tag teams in the world at the moment. Next, we get another package for Chris Bay. He looks like a mix between Swerve Scott and Odell Beckham Jr. Still got to look into him. Looks impressive just by looking at him. See if he can move in the ring though. Next, Havoc is just walking backstage and Rosemary appears behind her. Magic, right? Basically set up a match next week against Su Yung. Havoc and Su Young, and a no disqualification match. How about that? I'm with the shits. Hopefully they beat each other up. Next, we had the fourth match out of the best out of 5 between Eddie Edwards and Michael Elgin. Michael Elgin was going into this match up 2-1. Eddie Edwards, like I said he would, wins the fourth match. Really good match. It was different. It was different from every other match. I wouldn't say it's the best match out of the series, but it might be the second best match. Because usually Michael Elgin's just beating the shit out of Eddie. He either wins or Eddie comes back at the end. As at this point, this match was actually split 50-50. They were just beating each other up. Reversing each other. Eddie Edwards looked like he knew what was coming more. Michael Elgin looked like he was kind of second guessing himself because he lost that first match. Eddie Edwards gets the win at the end. Good match. Let's keep it going. We're going to see what happens. I don't know when the fifth match is, but I can't wait. Next, we had a segment with Petey Williams, Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore is like the executive vice president, Impact, whatever. He's the shot caller over there, right? So he's talking about, they're hyping up this big TNA old school reunion show that they're doing soon. And Moose comes like, hey, fuck that. That's the past. It's the present. Mr. Impact, baby. Calls out a bunch of old TNA legends. So basically sets up a match between Petey Williams and Moose for that TNA one night only thing. When are they going to stop treating Moose like this? The only positive, right, is that they brought up the fact that he hasn't won a championship yet. Foreshadowing. Needs that championship, man. Then he can be one of the greatest. Maybe he's headed that way. We'll see. Next, we have another promo with Johnny Swinger going up to Willie Mag. Hey, bro, yeah, we're going to work out the kinks. I know we were a little stiff last time, but we got his brotherly love. We're going to get this chemistry going. Then Disco fucking Inferno. Disco Inferno used to piss me off in the 90s. He literally pisses me off more 30 years later. But he basically becomes tag partners with Johnny Swinger. Building up that tag division, you need one fucking pair of jabronis out there. And the main event is Tessa Blanchard versus Ace Austin for the X Division Championship. It was a little like their previous match, a little different, Tessa was really getting the upper hand. She was really starting to dominate the match, right? And what happens? Taya Valkyrie comes out, right? And attacks Tessa Blanchard. So Tessa wins by DQ. Ace is still X Division champ. Tessa is still World's champ. Right? This is why I don't want Tessa to be World champ. Or, not that I don't want it, it's just I'm not with it. I am not with the shit. Because now Taya comes out. Or if she wants a feud with Tessa for the World's 2 women, first time ever for the men's World's Championship match. I mean, what's the point of the Knockouts Championship? Unless Impact plans on being the first big intergender promotion. I can get it. And you have a winner takes all between the Knockout Championship and the World's Champion. Eventually, if that's the path they're headed, yeah, why not? Be the first to do something crazy. See if people will love it. See if people like it. See if you can get a following. I would dig it. But if you're not, then you just like taking it a little too far, no? That's just my opinion. Tessa's good though. She's the world's champ. It is what it is. More success to her. Subscribe, share, like, comment. True Hill Heat on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it. You can find me at Spick Flair. Woo! Underscores in between. You see it. New episode of Joints and Jabronis will be dropping this week. For my co-host Mary Jane. For La Gata Mala, Ivy. Not Guatemala. La Gata Mala. I'm your boy Chris G. I'm fucking beat. I'll see you next time.